I've never told a story publicly. Get ready online. I invited someone who worked at ABC to come to their church and give me some ideas on what we could do for advertising. And so she sits in my office and we're talking and she says, well, you could always geofence. I'm going, what is a geofence? You pick an area and everybody with a smartphone that walks in that area starts getting notified of your ads. Like, for example, if you owned a tire store over here and you had a competition with a tire store across town, you would geofence their location. So everybody walking in their place looking for tires would start getting ads from your tire place over here. And I said, well, that's interesting, geofencing. So how would a church use that? She said, oh, it's simple. So I was in charge of all the geofencing for a much larger ministry that I'm not gonna name at this very moment, in Charlotte. I'll stop there. I was in charge of it and we would geofence all the churches. I'm sorry, what? She said, yeah, when we launch a new campus somewhere, we would go in and geofence all the church locations in that city so whoever would go to church would find out about this new church. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not quite getting. She said, it's a built-in tithing base. You're telling me that you're literally advertising in other people's churches so you can take their members and not reach the lost. And I said, I want you to know right now, that's what I would call unethical, biblically and spiritually. So I called up the local campus pastor and had a meeting with him. I said, I know you're just a campus pastor, you don't have all the details, you don't know the number. I said, but I want to know, have you geofenced my church? Oh, we wouldn't do something like that. I said, why don't you ask your people? Send a text off. At the table, the message comes back. He starts reading out loud. We don't geofence by the name of the church, just by the church itself. In other words, it didn't care what kind of church it was just a church. I would rather you bring signs and come stand in a parking lot and let everybody know you're here than to do what you're doing right now. It's unethical and it's wrong. And then I said, you go ahead and call the powers that be and get Central Triad Church out of your list. I tell you that because there are people building churches whose purpose is not the lost. It's to get, it's to gain, it's to get, it's to create, it's to pull, it's to destroy churches.